Well guys, I've done myself a bit of mischief. I was playing around in the mud and yeah, just going a little bit too hard, and I've broken myself a right-hand front CV. It's not an uncommon thing, I've been told, if you're getting up these Y62s. I've broken plenty on the Cruiser, the old 200, and it's always the left-hand front. So Nissan, right-hand, Toyota, left-hand. I don't think they'll be too much different, but it's the first time I'm ever changing a CV on a Patrol, so I thought you guys would like to come along for the ride and see how I do it, because there's an easy way to do them on a Cruiser and a hard way. And I really want to find out the easy way to do it now, because when I do bust it on the track somewhere, I want to be able to just put my finger on exactly what I've got to do right there in the bush and change it lickety-split. So we're going to have a bit of a look. When I put it up on the hoist, you'll have to see where it's blown apart. So as you can see, the little balls want it out. It's a bit like when you have an electrical problem and you let the smoke out. Stuff's just never the same. It's the same as these CVs. When you let those balls out, they're just not the same. Here just obviously we'll start the process by getting the cotter pin. That's far better. Using the right tools. Now in the bush you should have all your tools that you're going to need for trackside repairs readily available anyway, you know, in your drawer or in your canopy or wherever. Righto, get a socket for that. These are a 32mm. So for the people who don't know, pack yourself a 32mm socket. Let's hope it rattles off with ease. Look at that. Now I've got that off, I'm going to lift it up so I can sort of see the best way to pull the upper control arm section off the lower control arm. Because on a Toyota they've got two bolts that hold that on there. It's a simple process, but these Nissans, they don't. Ball joint, but we'll just see. There might be a bit of a trick. Remnants of the playtime that caused this whole thing. There's going to be no easy way to do this, is there? Hold on. What was that on? So I've had a bit of a look. I don't know, I'm just going to try something. I might take the brake caliper off and pull it out of the way. There's 4 other bolts here. I mean, the easiest way by the looks is to take the bottom ball joint off. It's never fun taking ball joints off in the bush. You want to be able to undo some bolts and pull some stuff out of the way. I'm hoping that this hub is held on by something that's obviously going to be spinning there. So if I take the brake caliper off, and then there's 4 bolts here. I'm going to see if I can undo those. Look, I could be getting it all wrong. I'm just looking for the easiest fix I can do trackside. Righto, I've got the caliper off. I'll reach over here. Now, it's always nice if you can not let it hang nastily somewhere. So let's see if we can get this bad boy around something and hold this up so it's not putting any strain on that brake line there. There we go. Pull that off. I actually think my idea is going to work. So if you come and have a look around here, my idea is to unbolt these 4 here and then just slip this hub off. Now, like I said, it's not as simple as a Toyota, it's just bolted underneath there. Usually you get a ratchet strap put it to your brush rail if you've got a brush rail, or you get someone to hold it out of the way. Last thing you want to be doing is taking a ball joint off, in my opinion. So the brake caliper bolts are 24mm, if you want to take note of that. 24mm socket to get the brake caliper off, those bolts. These are 19. Going to try and zippy tie this caliper out of the way, just so it takes a bit of pressure off. Righto, it's not too much, it's only sort of holding half the weight there. We'll get this turned. There we go. Crack them, I have. Got them off. The flaw in my plan here, there's an ABS sensor. So let's just see if that comes out nice and easy, because the last thing we want to do is damage that, and you know, obviously your ABS light's going to go on. You won't have ABS, so you won't have all your safety. But this looks like it's just going to pull straight off here, which will then disengage that. I should be able to just get the big lever out and then just pop that CV out. So wish me luck. There's an Allen key. What size is it? That's a 5mm Allen key. Tight little critter. Right, there's enough slack on that there. Give it a bit of a wriggle. That can, look at that. Not a problem at all. That comes out of there okay. That's all there. And your hub comes off. Be careful with this wire. Happy days, that can go there. And you can get to everything. So, not as simple as a Toyota, but not hard, put it that way. I'd rather be undoing all those than I would be doing this here. So, and there's enough room up there, you can sort of probably sneak this CV through up in here, I reckon, and poke it back through this hole, and then yeah. So, we'll soon see what the go is. Righto, let's hope this thing pops out with ease. Oh, look at that. But we are on a hoist. So, my theory is flawed already. Rightio, I've just found out that I've done it all the hard way, so don't do what I say. We're gonna pop this one off now, and we're gonna pop this one off and just see how it goes. See, I wonder if I could just get away with popping that off. I don't really want to pop any of that off. Folks at home, don't do it the way I've just done it. This is why we do it in the workshop first, to learn the easy and the hard ways. So I've just taken off way more stuff than I had to. This is why you are watching this video. Don't do what Reuben just did. I thought we might be lucky enough for that all to be able to compress enough, but not. Here we go. I'm sure everyone knows out there that if you're going to ever hit something like this, make sure you don't hit the top of the thread. Wind the nut back off a little bit and give it a bit of a tap. Righto, that one's out of the way. Let's see if we can get this one. Look at that. All right. So we've got that loosened off a bit. We've got to hit here. Hopefully it'll release. Look at that. So obviously, when you're in the scrub, you'd have your jack. Hopefully you've got 2 jacks. I always carry 2 jacks. One for jacking the car, and then one for helping manipulate certain things, the suspension or whatever. So you want to holding some pressure on that. So when I hit the nut on this one, that's a bad habit of mine really for, that's when you get other bolts out. I should have flogged this bit to loosen it up first, but it didn't take much of a knock to get that out the way I did. You don't want to be really wrecking that tie rod though. But you're in the scrub, depending on what the situation is, you got to do what you got to do. So, lower that one down. Look at that. Will this be enough? It still isn't enough. Are you serious? I should have just done the bottom ball joint. All the wrong info I've been given today. He said it was an arsehole, but of course it's going to be an arsehole. That if you just undo that one to do it straight away, I'm going to start a new saying. If you want to do it right, you got to do it twice. So, and maybe might have to be thrice or 3 times. Knowing Reuben's luck. Anyway, but this is what this whole exercise is all about. You got to have a look at it, see what you can do and you can't do. Pretty rookie error. I thought they'd compress enough. I'm missing out by about that much of them compressing up and getting them all the way out. So, I had a crack. I made a mistake. I make lots of them, eh? So the old lesson here is that sometimes the hard way is the right way. And when you're trying to go the easy way, it's just not going to work out. Should have just gone straight for the one bolt down here, the bottom ball joint. Anyway, as you can see, I just smacked the old ball joint here and got it off. Made it easier to get that back up there. So it should be pretty simple. Look at the movement you've got. So maybe it's undoing that one, undoing the bottom ball joint. Okay, obviously you'll need a fair bit of weight on it and it'll be a lot easier when it's on the ground because you'll be able to jack this bit up so it compresses right up there and you'll be able to have all the movement. This is on the hoist. I may even have to let this down a bit so there's a bit of weight on the rear wheels and I might have to get a jack and jack it up there because these are pretty staunch springs in the front. So anyway, I think this one and this one to come off, that'll be able to swing out of the way like nothing. Okay, once you've jacked that up out of it, obviously. Yeah, I think that's the simplest way so far. And anyway, because that's already popped. Nice little nasty explosion. Typical Reuben style. Always busting stuff. G'day fabulous people. Well, here I am with a big announcement. We are giving away 5 merch packs for the month of April. Now it is so simple. All you got to do is click on the link and follow the prompts and subscribe to our YouTube channel. Now that is one part of the entry. The second part is we want to see your best recovery video of what you've got going on. We want to see fails, we want to see epic winches, we want to see the whole works and jerks. And we're going to pick the 5 best videos and we're going to give you a t-shirt, a hat and stubby coolers. So that is super awesome. It is so simple to enter. Just get them videos so I can see some awesome footage and yeah, hopefully I'm sending you one of these merch packs. Righto, just a bit of grease. Go on the CV. Don't like putting them in dry. All the seal and everything seems to be pretty good. All that out of the way. Make that up through there. I can never find shit, eh? Righto, so you want to compress the CV. You just one of your friends can pull it out of the way if you're with someone, or if you're by yourself, you're just gonna have to get a bit of rope or something. But this needs to move, so I can get it out of the way so I can do the do. That is out of the way. Anyway, you saw me get that in. It's not the easiest of tasks, but if you can get that at the right angle and then sort of compress the whole CV in like that, and then get that nut on there and then belt it in, it seemed to go in fine. Just need a couple little extra taps at the end to get it right home. Look, the gurus say that you should replace the seal up there. You're not going to do that trackside, and if it starts weeping a bit, it's not a big deal. You're going to go home, you're going to pull it out in a controlled environment, you know, and do it at your leisure, I suppose, or take it to a shop. This is about how you do it on the track. I'm on the hoist, I know, but you're not going to worry about changing the seal. And I was careful putting it in so I didn't damage the seal even when I pulled it out. It was quite easy to pop off, and then we guided it out, and then obviously put the new one in, we guided it in, got it in, and got it lined up. So the only way you're going to really bust that seal is if you're a bit laxy-daisy with it and you drag that down and pinch it or do something like that. Anyway, now it's the reassemble time. So what I've worked out about this whole process is that one of the mechanics here says that you take this off and this off to get it out of the way. I don't know, it didn't seem to work when I had that off and I left this part on, so I still couldn't get that out. So by undoing the bottom ball joint, the thing that I didn't want to do from the beginning, which I just should have done, you know, it would have been a lot simpler. But we now know this process, and we'll just reassemble it. Put that in there, like so. All right, I think we'll concentrate on getting this up and the ball joint in. Rightio. So, as you can see, it's lifted off the hoist a bit, and that's got a fair bit of pressure on it. So I'm just gonna get the ratchet strap. I'm going to work smarter, not harder. And for all you Nissan gurus out there who've done these all the time, and I'm making this look hard, I'm very sorry, but unless you have a crack yourself, you're not going to know. Honk. Right. Look at that. Well, there you go. Reuben's wrong way of doing CVs. That's what we'll call this segment. Reuben's wrong way. But I had a cracking time learning how it all came apart and how it went together. You know what? And worst case scenario, if you pulled it apart like I did in the scrub, it's not very hard to get back together. I mean, you got 2 bolts here for the caliper, 4 for the hub, you've got this bolt here for the upper control arm, you've got the bottom ball joint, and you've got your tie rod end for your rack for steering. You know, that all came apart really, really simply and easily. I mean, I don't like doing ball joints in the bush, because if you've got an older car, they can be a real problem to get out. But look, with the rate these things break CVs, maybe your bottom ball joint's never going to get seized up, hey? But look, all jokes aside, I really recommend that if you're going to be doing trackside maintenance or trackside repairs, you should really know how your car goes together and pulls apart at home. So if you're pretty handy, you should be looking at these sort of things before you go on some major adventure, especially if you're taking the spare parts to replace it with. You should know how to do it. That's why this whole scenario for me was to do the ins and outs of this, because I don't want to be stuck somewhere, you know, 4-wheel driving, I've got a CV, and then I'm just going to try and nut it out on the track. Because as we found, with little tricks that we sort of found we had to do, ratchet strapping that together and pressing that up with the jack. So better to find out here in the workshop in a controlled environment than out in the bush. But hey, whatever tickles your fancy, because you're probably having fun, like wherever you are. Doesn't matter if you're in the shed, out in the bush. I'm gonna lower this down, I'm gonna whack this wheel on, and we'll take it for a hit after I tighten that up and put my pin in. So, putting the wheel nuts on, take it for a test drive, and see if it does the clickety-clack like it did before. And yes, to everybody out there saying I'm using the wrong sockets and whatever else, I am using the wrong sockets, but it does the job for me. I'm not going to honk on them with the rattle gun too much. I'll use the breaker bar to tension after. And there you have it. Well, there you go. I just did that CV all the wrong way. But was it all the wrong way? You tell me. I really want to know from all you Nissan gurus out there with these Y62s, the best and quickest way to do a CV on these things, because it has that bottom ball joint, which to me is a pain in the rectum, and really should have some bolts down there just like the 200. But hey, it's not. It's a Nissan, they've got their own way of doing things. But I learnt, I enjoyed what I did just then, pulling it all apart. You know, was those extra 6 bolts the wrong way of doing it? By pulling the caliper off and pulling that hub apart? And obviously the only real pain to me was the ABS wire. I get really, really worried about those sensors. I haven't buggered it in there, it's all good. But that's the only thing I'd be probably really concerned about, is that ABS wire. But look, thanks for watching. Reuben do it all the wrong way. And tune in for the next time I try and do something mechanical and try and find an easy way for you guys to do it at home. Cheers.